Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Kaylin Deviane, and today I am chatting with Tara Stryker, who is one of the authors in our new collaboration book, Intuition, Your Inner Compass. This collaboration is a combination of 13 heart-led women who are sharing their stories of inspiration, wisdom, experiences through their journey through intuition. So, welcome, Tara. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. Well, let's dive right in. So, intuition, as you may know, can be entered into, or there's many gateways into exploring our intuition. And so I'm curious, what led you specifically to joining this particular book on intuition?
Well, I think for me is I have actually been in all of the Houses of Light books. So it was just a natural, as Diane knows me well,
Yes.
I don't make the decision until I'm guided to. And sometimes that comes closer to the end,
Okay.
rather than right at the beginning. And so I follow my intuition. I follow my guidance, and when it comes that I should be a part of it, then I that's what I do.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that. And so appropriate for this particular theme of this book.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perfect. Okay,
How
so
about for you? What made you decide to be a part of it?
what made me decide to be a part of it? It was the topic of intuition. I had been invited to many other opportunities for a collaboration, and it didn't feel right. And the topic they were addressing was more like from your story and how your story is important, and not that our stories are not important, they are, but it wasn't, for whatever reason, it wasn't getting me jazzed. But when I spoke to you at the expo and you were sharing about it, I like my whole body just went, oh. And so I knew that I had to be a part of it as well.
Excellent. So both of us are intuition.
That's right. Both of us followed our guidance to be here, so that's super cool. Yeah. Well, and I love the magic of the whole process of how it unfolds and how all of us women come together and just our unique journeys and sharings on intuition. It's really cool and amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful that it's that Diane really leaves it open, that it's not, she doesn't restrict it in any way. So whenever the topics have been, whatever they've been, with all the books, it's just been everyone's been allowed to write. Some people have wrote like their stories, or some people have wrote from a more coach type view where they've written, this is how you do it. And she doesn't restrict that in any way or limit it. She just leaves it open under the topic. So it's beautiful, especially with it being about intuition. She just lets your intuition guide you on what you want to write.
Exactly. Well, and then I find it becomes a rich resource for the readers because all of us are have sharing these different tools, resources, and opportunities for them to deepen their own journey with intuition. And because we're all speaking in different ways, we can reach a wider audience, right? Where my chapter might speak more to somebody than another one, and same, your chapter might speak more to someone else. So,
Absolutely. And I know we've talked about with the books is using it as a guide and just saying, like opening the book and saying, using that with your intuition, what is in my highest good to know right now? And using the
exactly.
book almost like an oracle deck kind of thing
That's right.
and guiding you that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just pick up the book and ask the question and then flip to a page.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
beautiful.
is beautiful.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. Well, I'd love to know, what is one belief that you held about intuition before writing your chapter that you found shifted or evolved throughout your process of crafting your chapter?
I think throughout writing the chapter, there was, as all of us face, and I talk about it in my chapter, is we face that we've always been taught to go outside of ourselves for authority or
Right.
for confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, with the writing, it was a way for me to confirm what I already was kind of knowing
Right.
and go, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. So it was a way for me to go, okay, yeah, that's still showing up, or I'm still looking for approval in this way. And the more that kind of came out, it was like, yeah, I can see that. So it was a way for me to reaffirm the things that I'd already kind of been working through on how to not hear my guidance, but to trust in it.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yeah. And I love that because writing is such a powerful way to affirm. And it's one of the many things when I'm working with people myself on their own intuition is to write things down because not only does it help us process things, but it helps prove to our ego minds that are might be pushing back and saying this isn't actually happening. And then we can go back to our ego mind and provide it with proof.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
How the ego always needs proof.
It does. It does. And we can provide the ego with that proof. We just need to have those tools to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay. So, little bit of follow up to that. So, was there a moment in your everyday life, again, not necessarily through the writing process, might have been prior to, where you realized your intuition was speaking to you more than logic? And what did you do with that?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I can't think of a specific time, but I can say I think the biggest thing for me was learning what it sounded like over my logical. Um, and so learning the difference between the two.
Yes.
And and through my whole journey, it's been about consolidating is a word that's coming to mind right now. The voices, like the numerous voices within,
Right.
and learning the what that sounds like
Yes.
as to the difference that it sounds like between that and my intuition and my guidance.
Yes,
So just
absolutely.
really knowing the difference.
Yeah, and I believe that there many people struggle with that. You know, they how do I know that it's my intuition and not something else? And there are ways and processes to discern that, and but yeah, that's really key in the beginning. And part of a little bit of a hamster wheel because you're trying to build confidence and trust, but then you're questioning over here. So it's really important to have
Absolutely.
those tools. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you? What was your process in discerning the difference?
Oh, it was a process. um, but I guess the way I always say it now is I know the sound of the two. I
Right,
know what that frequency is when it's my intuition. I know how it feels in my body. I
right.
know what it sounds like. And it's the way I kind of explain it to people is your intuition when you start listening to it and the more you tune in, it's like throwing a pebble in the ocean at first. It's
Mm,
you can barely hear it, but once you tune into that sound, that's all you can hear.
yes,
And you know what it sounds like, so you focus in on that. So just learning to do that.
right, right. Yeah, I love that analogy. That's a really good analogy. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So what do you find that people often misunderstand about intuition? And what does your chapter specifically or help reframe for them?
I think it's the conditioned mind. I go into a
Mm,
lot of why we why we have it, why we find it so hard
right.
to listen. And it's the conditioning that we have to work through to release, to be able to listen to that intuition, to be able to trust it, to be able to move forward with it. Um, and I already talked about the one, like we are
Yes.
taught from day one that there is authorities to ask. I mean, we are taught throughout our whole life to ask an authority for everything,
Mm.
even to go to the washroom. And so
Yes.
it's
Yes. Or get a
guiding you and
drink.
guiding you away from yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that is a lot of reconditioning that we have to do to become our own authority,
Right.
which can
Exactly.
feel very daunting.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and especially depending where you're at in your journey, some of us are starting quite late in life, but there are others who are coming to it earlier, and I would say, what a beautiful advantage if you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Less
20 years of conditioning compared to 40 years of conditioning,
exactly,
big
exactly.
difference.
So much less to work through. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, so when someone reads your chapter in the book, and if they were to take away only one felt experience, so not an idea, but a feeling, what do you hope that would be for them?
I believe in me.
Okay.
That would be what I hope people leave with, is that they believe in themselves.
Right. Right. Cool. Love it. Love it. Love it. And do you include any tools or resources within your chapter as well?
I believe I did. I can't remember.
Oh.
I don't often go back and read it again
Oh, really?
because it's not, sometimes I'll get called to,
Right.
but it's out there and it's done, and so it's,
It's complete.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's complete. Exactly. Good
Yeah.
way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I love that message of I believe in me because I think so many of us need that. And when we see it coming from different sources, it can help us get to that space and place, which is so important and key right now with everything that's going on in the world and our own spiritual transformations and journeys. So, love it. Thank you.
absolutely. I think it's so beautiful that, like you talked about, when that many authors get together,
Mhm.
it makes it that much more less daunting, I guess, that much more achievable, or feel like it's achievable, when you see so many people rather than just one person's viewpoint. When you see so many who have been on that, you can really kind of resonate with, like you said, one or more others, but you can see that there is 13 other people who have gone through that journey at least. So,
Exactly, exactly. And like I touched on briefly at the beginning, there's so many different ways to enter into exploring our intuition. And so to have that resource in front of you, especially if you are just starting out, or even if you're deepening that piece of your journey, you can see the different ways to approach it and know and recognize that there's not only one way to enter into this intuitive space. So,
absolutely.
yeah, cool, cool, cool. Well, thank you so much, Tara, for joining me today. Tara and I are part of an in person book launch here in Calgary on May the 23rd at the Divine Mine, where we will be sharing and celebrating the book. So you will have an opportunity to connect with us and some of the other authors as well. There'll be opportunities for Q&A. Of course, we'll have light refreshments available for everyone and a little goodie bag to take home. So I'm going to drop the link in for those of you who'd like to join us on the 23rd to register to join us. We'll also include Tara's contact information if you want to reach out and connect with her further. And we are looking forward to seeing everyone on the 23rd. Thanks again, Tara, for joining me.
Thank you. I'm very excited about this. I've done, like I said, several books now, and this is the first time I get to do an in-person book launch. So I'm
Yeah,
excited on how that'll go.
I'm excited about it as well. I'm sure we'll have a full house, and it'll be yeah. The vibe is good. There's lots of excitement around it, and we hope to see everybody who's watching there.
Thank you so much for organizing it.
Oh, you're very welcome. All right, take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.